And all these little shakes, and friends of mine in the audience tonight, they had these shakes prior to it, and in the week of it, and they were all perfectly wonderful. Their visions were perfectly heavenly. I can't thank them enough for sharing it with me. But here, if you read it tonight, should you, that 13th chapter of the book of Mark, the related chapters are the 22nd of Matthew and the 10th of Luke. But I like the one as Mark presents it. He does it in a very primitive manner, but it's so beautifully told in Mark. It's simple and very, very clearly stated. That's the one that asks you not to believe anyone who points outside to Jesus Christ. If should anyone say, look, there he is, or here he is, believe him not. For many will come saying, I am he. Do not believe it. Let no one make the claim and you believe it. Let it be revealed. If he really has had the experience, there are those within his world who will see it. He doesn't ask anyone to see it. He doesn't care. He knows it has to be seen by those within his world who are related to the picture. He knows Peter must come. And in my case, Peter came. He's a beautiful, beautiful Peter too. Petra. And she saw it. Everyone will see it. So I don't have to ask anyone to see it or try to persuade you. So don't believe that Neville is. I'm not speaking of Neville. I'm speaking of the source. I'm speaking of now a series of events that man must experience to take him back to the source. And that series of events that takes him back to the source is called the way. So when you read in the 14th of John, I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes unto the Father except by me. He is telling you of the only way back to the Father, which is the source, the cause of the phenomenon of life. So forget a man and just simply see the way. He is called the way, the true and living way, and there is no other way. But the most difficult thing in the world for man is to completely give up at one fell swoop his fixed belief when he's been trained, as he has been trained, to believe in creatures outside of himself. And so he believes in a historical Jesus, in a historical Moses, in a historical Jacob, and all these things. When the old is simply an active prophecy, the new an active parable. And what I'm telling you, active too. But I'm telling you what I know from experience, but I've been sent to tell you the way. Sent to tell you how you go back to discover your own being, who is God the Father. And there is no other. So tonight, you can put it on this apple to a test. The power of which I speak. You're going to assume that you are now the one that you would like to be, and remain faithful to your assumption. And to the degree that you are faithful to that assumption, you will become it. Because you really are the creator of all the things in your world. And you create it by simply assuming a certain state, entering into that state, living in the state, feeling it to be natural, and then you project it on the screen of space. But no matter what you project, it is nothing to the being that you really are who is doing the projecting. And the purpose of life is to find the thing that is projecting, and that is God. But in the world of Caesar, one would like more money, more this, more the other. You can do it. One day you'll get tired of all the things you're projecting. And then you will know that statement in the book of Amos. In that day I will send a famine upon the land. It will not be a hunger for bread or a thirst for water, but for the hearing of the Word of God. You get so tired of things, you get satiated, and you want to hear the Word of God. But you are God. You want to hear what you foretold in the beginning, and what you meant by it, and what someone claimed it fulfilled itself in, and then how. And you become so hungry that nothing of the outside will interest you. Only this, the Word of God. And you let everything drop and put all of your interest in simply the Word of God. For you really are not only God, but you are His Word, because the Word and God are one. In the beginning was the Word was with God, and the Word was God. So He sent it, and His Word cannot return unto Him void. It must accomplish that which He purposed and prosper in the thing for which He sent it. Well, He sent Himself. He had no one else to send. Who else to go? Can you conceive of a moment when a father, and we're all now sons, billions of us, but because He is omnipresent, He's present to all. Because He's omniscient, right, and He is omnipotent. And He tells us a story that He is going to become invisible. Take a good look at me now. I'll become invisible, He tells us, for one purpose. In becoming invisible, I'll become you, and you will become as I am. And when the drama is over, you will be as I am. And my Father tells me that. And He shows me the result. He shows me a son. It's the one dearest and nearest to His heart, His son. And then my Father becomes invisible. And I think, as I start the journey, I never more will see my Father, not knowing He's built in from eternity within me. But He is faithful and steadfast in love, and He keeps His pledge to me. And one day, I don't see Him, I see His Son, and His Son is my Son. And I know He kept His promise. He told me He would give Himself